Hello guys, so today in this video we will study about consistency. Okay, so in acid properties earlier we have studied about atomicity, so C for consistency. Okay, C defines consistency, so we will study about consistency. So what consistency means? Consistency means a transactions must take the database, a transactions, this is the database snapshot. After one transactions, the database which is going to be from one valid state to another valid state. Okay, so after one particular transactions, the database should be valid, right? So it can never break the rules of database. Okay, while processing the transactions, it can never break the rules of database. Okay, so consistency means the database should go from one valid state to different valid state. So what valid state means? Valid state means primary key must be unique. So while the transactions, right, it cannot violate this particular rule that primary key should not be duplicated. Primary key should be always unique, right? So then foreign key must be matched. Okay, so any foreign key you are joining with or any foreign key you are updating, that must be matched with the parent key, right? So foreign key must be matched and check constant pass, right? Suppose earlier we have seen, right, in percent table mobile number was the field, right? Mobile number was the field and we have given a constant in the mobile number length should be 10, right? So while updating anything inside the transactions, it cannot update anything where mobile number length is not 10. Okay, so all the constraints should be passed, right, while running a transactions. Data type must correct, right? So whenever you are updating any data in a particular column, that column data type should be correct. Another is unique constants can't be violated. So if any table we have given one particular field, that should be unique, right? That is not primary key, right? That is a unique constants we have given. That unique constants also should not be violated for a particular transactions. So any transactions, whenever any transactions ensures, right, that the valid state should be maintained. So what are the valid state? As I said, primary key, foreign key, constraints, data type, unique constraints should always be proper, which always be proper as per the rules, that primary key cannot be cannot be duplicated, foreign key should definitely match. Constraints, all the constraints, unique constraints should always be passed, cannot be violated. Data type of each column should be correct, right, while updating the data. So it actually automatically gets handled by relational database while running a particular transactions, right? So if any transaction violates any of these particular rules, right, if any transaction violates even one rule, the database rejects the whole transactions. Okay, so if any transaction violates even one rule, the database will reject the whole transactions and it will ensure that no partial update has been done and no corrupted data got persisted in the database. Okay, so this is what the consistency means. Okay, so here I have written, right, consistency ensures that every successful transaction leaves the database valid, right? This is a very important point. Every successful database transactions leaves the database valid following all the rules and constraints. Okay, all the rules of the database and constraints should always be followed, right? So sometimes people get confused related to the consistency of the distributed system, right? In a distributed system, in CAP theorem we have also a consistency. If you don't know CAP theorem, don't worry, we will have a separate video on it. Okay, so what exactly this consistency in CAP theorem means? In distributed systems, the replicas visibility should be proper, right? So in distributed system, what happens? We will have a master database and we will have multiple replica database. Okay, and this master database will handle the write part, and after writing it, it will get automatically replicated in the replica database. Okay, so it takes some replication slack. Okay, there is a replication slack. So what happens after you write the data in the master database, the replications happens in the in your replica database in a particular time frame, right? So there is a replication slack. So there this consistency doesn't maintain properly. So you have written something and at the same time you are writing from reading from replica database. So that time maybe the data may not get updated in the replica database, right? Because there is a replication slack, maybe 3 seconds or something, right? So these particular things are called consistency in the distributed system that we will study in CAP theorem. But here in ACID, right, this consistency means the rules of data models. So the rules of data models should be consistent across all the transactions. So this is what consistency is. We will study in the next lecture isolations, what we will mean by isolations. Okay, so stay tuned for your next lecture. Thank you so much for today.